everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm here with another project share for card making. This was not a pad kill, but I was just trying to do something specific. So my grandma asked for some thinking of you cards for me to send back with my parents. So I pulled a few pages from this Recollections paper pad. It's called Newport Grove. I just pulled 5 sheets. So I pulled one of this paper. We're gonna get like a little flip through. One of this paper. One of this paper. I'm trying to get to the next one. One of this paper. And one of this paper. So just those 5 pattern pages, and then I wanted to make a set of cards. She asked for approximately 20. And I also wanted to try out using some card sketches this time because I'd kind of gotten, I feel like that would be helpful for my creativity to kind of pull some of those. So I used a variety of card bases I just have in my stash. So I'm not going to talk too much about those. Some of them are colored on the inside and the outside. Some of them are white on the inside and colored on the outside. And then I have some plain white card bases. So to start out with, I use Freshly Made Sketches number 310. And I'll try to link those sketches below. So I made 4 of this card. But basically it just uses 3 different pattern papers. And then I used some origami paper because I had it in good colors. From this set of origami paper, I have no idea where I got this. It says made in Japan, and it's like a giant stack. I probably bought it at some craft show at some point, not really sure. But anyway, I used that peach color to mat the 2 pattern papers here, and then I used a little square of it, and I just wrote thinking of you. And then for these that are orange on the outside and inside, I used a yellow origami paper to just kind of like make it easier to write on this. And then all of the cards use like random scraps I had just to add a little decoration on the inside. So I made 4 of these. This one uses one of the card bases that's already white on the inside, so I just added some decoration. Next up, I use Operation Write Home sketch number 219 and 2 different colored card bases. But it's basically the same design. I used a pattern paper here, a pattern paper here. This is some of the origami paper. I just double layered it so that it would be more opaque. And then I backed this piece of origami paper on some like just white printer paper to also make it opaque. And I just wrote thinking of you on both of those. And then these 3 little heart stickers are from this sticker set by Jot. You buy it at Dollar Tree. So I just used some of those. So I got these 2, and again, some little decoration on the inside of both of these. Next up, I used My Favorite Things sketch number 183. And this is a pattern paper on like a cream card base, and then this is just origami paper, as is this little circle here. I actually don't have any tools to die cut, so to get this circle I just traced around one of my washi tapes and then just cut it out by hand. And again, I have flags on the inside just like all the rest. Alright, and then I'm trying to pull things from the side. I used Operation Write Home sketch number 217. And this bright yellow as well as this paler yellow are both origami papers. This is 2 different pattern papers, one for the base and one for the pattern here, and then a couple of those heart stickers. And I made 2 of those that way. And then this is Sweet Sunday sketch number 232. I use this polka dot card base instead of a lot of matting. And then this is pattern paper, and then this is a just some of the origami paper, and I didn't mat this because I kind of liked how it shows through a little bit. And I picked up a stamp set This is by Miss Sparkle Co. All of these are backwards because I put it in backwards. But there's a thinking of you sentiment and a heart in here. So I used that and just made this one card. And then I had some random scraps, so I decided to just make a card on my own. This is loosely based on that same Operation Right Home sketch number 219 that I made. Let me see if I can find it. Like this card out of. It's kind of based on the same thing. I used some of this like Scotch Expressions washi tape. And then this piece of mint paper actually comes from a paper stack I just have like for my office. I just pulled one of the pages out of there. I actually used this with all the paper taken out of it to hold my stamps for stamping because I don't have any acrylic blocks right now. And that worked out fine. The stamp didn't fit, so instead I just hand wrote in a similar font using this Kelly Creates small brush pen. And I don't know, it's fun to kind of be able to put in like 3 pretty busy pattern papers together. And I have a couple flags on the inside, but I think that it turned out pretty cute. All right, next up, I used that My Favorite Thing sketch 183 that I used previously, and I made these 2 cards. So I used a pattern paper for like a card mat, and then I used another pattern paper to make like this big focal piece. This is an origami strip on both of these, and then these are also pattern papers. This one's not super easy to read. This one I think you can read just fine, but I just decided to leave it. It's not my favorite, and I would probably do it differently if I did it again, but I think that they still turned out cute, and I'm still gonna send them to my grandma. All right, next up I used Reverse Confetti sketch number 13. And so for this one I used 1 pattern paper for the card base, card mat, and then this flag is another pattern paper, and then I used a 3rd pattern paper, the like ombre one, to make these hearts, or these circles. The circles were made by tracing the inside of one of my like score tapes, and then I matted it on another one of those like note card papers. And then these are 2 different pattern papers. This one comes from the ombre. This is one of the other pattern papers in the background. And then I stamped the Thinking of You. The of you didn't come out super clearly on either of them, so I just hand wrote that with the Kelly Create marker on top, and I think that it looks really cute this way. So there are those 2. Next up, I used Reverse Confetti sketch number 32. And I made 2 of these, so I have like a card mat for the whole thing out of 1 pattern paper, this like tone on tone one. Then I have the ombre one as a background, and then I chose random pattern paper scraps I had to make like this strip across, and then another strip here, and then I used the same pattern paper as the background just to kind of like make a flag to go across here. The original sketch calls for a circle, but I just chose to use a flag, and I stamped the Thinking of You sentiment on both of those. And then my final 3 cards, I didn't actually use card sketches. So I made these 2. I've seen many variations of this kind of card by various vloggers, and in some sketches. I just kind of pulled out a variation that I created on my own. Each of these used 2 origami papers and a pattern strip, and then I used a tiny pattern piece of the ombre one in the flag. And then I used a note card piece in this yellow to stamp the Thinking of You, and then also this little like flowers and berries. And I like how these turned out, and I like that I could kind of just use whatever size scraps I had. They are definitely not the same size, but I think both of them turned out cute. And then my last one was to use up the rest of my large scraps. So I had a skinny strip of this pattern paper that was the same length as the card. So I just used that and let the colored card base kind of show. And then these strips were all like the same 4 1/8 that I make for a card mat that would go over the whole card. These were like the scraps left over. So I just kind of alternated them. And then I had a strip of the origami paper that was about the right length as well. So I just cut that down as well and wrote Thinking of You and put one of those little heart stickers there. All right, so that is everything I had. I like how it turned out. I enjoyed playing around with some sketches. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want to see more card making videos, please comment below about it. If you have any questions, comments, anything, please comment below. I'd really appreciate it. And like and subscribe. And then you can also follow me on Instagram at Creative Life of Liz to see some up close pictures of some of these. Yeah, so I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!